Test, test.
I'm doing pretty good. hmm Oh man, I did a lot this weekend actually. Yeah, last weekend. Yeah, yeah. hmm Last week my wife went to Disney and I stayed at home. So I got to read up on a book that I've been wanting to read more of. I did that for a while, and then I played some games, and then um, I started back at my job at the school on Monday. We had trainings until Wednesday, and then Thursday we the kids finally came back. So I had the kids for 2 days. Had a lot of fun. It was great. I always like uh, interacting with the kids. The kids and me are like, you know, I'm kind of the fun uncle of the school. Because like I know like their nerd terms and stuff, and some of these kids are like, I don't understand what these. No man, yeah, pretty much. It's weird. Uh, no, no, no. Um, but Friday was a very big day. We got a kiddo. He's placed with us now on Friday, this Friday. So he's doing really good. Awesome, awesome. Um, and then uh, Saturday, yesterday, I got to hang out with my buddy Todd. He came to Ohio with his family. So Todd came out and I drove him around to a couple places. Like he wanted to see a lot of stuff. He's like, "Hey man, like, I'm from Pittsburgh, you're from Ohio, so like, what things can you show me?" Yeah, him and his dad and mom and his girlfriend went to Berlin, Ohio, which is Amish country, Millersburg area. So they wanted to go on a trip, and they're like, we also have to keep, we just want like an easy trip that's not like overpriced. And I was like, okay. And then his mom and dad was like, well, we'll go to Berlin. And Todd was like, dude, do you mind like, you know, hanging out with us Saturday, because we do not want to just stay in this town. And I was like, yeah, I can totally do that. So I picked him up, and then um, we drove to Perrysville. Actually, I wanted to show him my old junior high school, what it turned into. Because, like, did you go to junior high in Perrysville? Okay, so that's what I thought. So now it's a haunted schoolhouse, which is pretty cool. I know the guy that runs it actually, so like I've talked to him a couple times, and like I'm supposed to go see it. Like he has like certain nights he does where it's like the haunted house, but he also has nights for like people that are not like aren't into the scare thing, which my wife isn't. Um, so well, no, it's more like everyone stands still and doesn't scare you. It's just you walk through it and you get to see like all the cool like stuff. Yeah. So we plan on doing that here in like a couple weeks. Um, and then I drove him to Mansfield Reformatory because I was like, hey man, like this is where Shawshank was filmed and a lot of other films. Like, and it's a beautiful architecture. So like I was like, hey, you'd really enjoy this. He liked that. I took him to Toy Hunters in Mansfield, and he bought, of course, he's into the whole spooky stuff, so he bought a Terrifier, and then his girlfriend did too. Then I took him to. I know that right now Pittsburgh Monroe area is having a problem with the Romeo Ville Mall. Yeah. 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 So yeah, so a lot of people aren't happy about it. And so I took him to Richland Mall, like in Mansfield, and I was like, "This is what happened to this mall." And he's like, "Wow, this mall is thriving." And I was like, "Yeah, the guy that decided to buy it for penny on the dollars, the two guys, I think they're brothers. Uh, they put a Rule King in the mall, and then all the other shops are small businesses. They were like, hey, like small business, like everyone can just come in the mall and like shop small business every, week. So that's how I got like this shirt. And then I got my Dungeon Carl t shirt. Was Hot Topic had a sale. So, and then Todd was like, I want to buy you a shirt. And I was like, all right. So he bought me the shirt. Um, so we got to do that. I'm just like probably 3 chapters away from the end. Um, yeah, because I'll tell you this. Don't get me wrong, I like Audible. I think the guy does a great job. He's really good at that. It's just sometimes when I read a book that I'm very, very interested in, I have to have a hard copy of it because it's easier for me to read than listen sometimes. Because sometimes things can like here's the biggest problem that I have with Audible, especially it just sometimes it doesn't work out properly for me. So like what I'm saying is I'll start listening to Audible. It'll be great. Then I'll get out of the car, and then I won't use Audible for a whole day, and then I get back in the car with my wife and my kiddo, and then it comes up on the radio, and I don't have the radio turned up all the way, so it went through like 3 chapters, and then I had to go back and find out where I was, and I was like, oh man, I don't want to like reveal anything or anything like that, so I was like, oh, this kind of stinks. But also too is like sometimes like when you're listening to an audiobook, like I actually want to listen to an audiobook most of the time. Like I want to sit down and listen to an audiobook, but that's how I read. I like to sit down and read. Like in this chair, I like to read in this chair. But the problem I have is like I got to put headphones on because if I try to do it over my phone or something else, like it doesn't. I don't feel immersed into just focusing on the book. But the problem that I have is like so many people will come in and be like, "Hey, how's it going?" And I'll be like, "Oh, hey, yeah," and then I'll have to like put it down, and then I'll forget my spot, and then I gotta go back. So it's constantly like losing my interest in like keeping me in the realm of that book. Yeah, yeah. So, mhm. Yeah, yeah, mhm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's why like So that's why I've been trying to find books. Like I've been trying to find books, and how I am recently in the last year. Yeah. Hmm. But hmm. Oh man, that's so cool. Uh, it's hard. Okay. Mm. Mm-hmm. Cats do not swim. Yeah, I've heard about that. Mm. 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 Yep. Mm. 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 And then yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's like, because here's the thing, like, what was it, like, the last time we talked, I was looking for a physical copy of it. Here in Ohio, where I'm at, I can't find one. Every Walmart, every place that's closed are sold out. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Well, I'm at this point where like I really for the last couple of years I've been trying to stay local when I buy stuff like something like that. I don't want to buy off of Amazon, but I'm to a point now cuz like that's how I feel about Magic the Gathering. Like I've been searching for a card for the last since the Marvel set came out, and it's really hard to find because it's in a commander deck, but it's only 45 cents and it's an uncommon. So I was trying to search everywhere. Like you remember, I was in that Pittsburgh store and I was like, hey, I'm looking for this. And they were like, we don't have that. And I was like, crap. So I broke down and finally bought it off of someone on eBay. And I was like, I just got to. I was like, it's part of the deck. It needs to run. That's what it is. Like, but I hate doing that. I'm that kind of guy that likes to go to a card shop, look at the cards, and be like, "Hey, that's a card I need." Um, like I went yesterday after I took Todd to the mall. I took him to Sparky's Games, which used to be called the Realm in Mansfield, Ohio. Um, and I picked up some rat colonies that I've been wanting to like look for. I was like, "Hey, rat colonies!" Like, and they're like, "We have a ton." And then the guy's like, "They're not that much." And I was like, "How much did you pay for all these?" And he's like, $5." I was like, "You might want to look up what rat colonies are now." And then he looked them up and he's like, "These are $5 a piece." I said, "Yes." And he goes, "I would have sold all these for 5." And I was like, "Why did I say something?" Yeah. Yeah. So and that's how I am sometimes with Magic. I'm like, no, you got this price wrong. The price went up. You just missed it. Really. Mm. Mm. Yeah. Mm. No, can't beat that. Yeah. But no, after that, we went to a horror museum in Galleon, and then we had Culver's for lunch, and then I took him back, and then I was like, my day is turned into a very long day, so I ended up just dropping him off, going home, and then I just like hung out. And I was like, so I've been just dealing with that. And, like tomorrow, I start a full week of school back to it, so like I gotta get my sleep, gotta make sure that I'm ready because I am helping co-teach now. So like I am helping teaching. Um, so yeah, it's a lot, but yeah. So how was your week? Hmm. French toast. Oh yeah. Mm, mm, mhm, mm. Um, so I actually love season two. I really enjoyed this season just because they took a very there is like one gripe I do have, and I was confused in some parts. But after talking to someone about this, which who I always talk to is Travis about it. He finally got around to watching it last week. Um, so like me and him like ricocheted off each other like what we thought about things. But I really like this season because they kind of take some big swings this season where you don't expect something from like an animated show where they kill off people, like legitly kill off their villains. Yeah, and like it's crazy. You would never expect that. Um, but I really thoroughly enjoyed this season. I feel like it's an adult version of the animated series. And we've kind of had like a little snippet of maybe a future like special guest thing because like there is a episode with a Robin that I kind of was like, oh okay, like they kind of did it together so they could like test the waters on if people would be okay with Robin. Well, this universe is Robin. Yeah, so like I thoroughly enjoyed this season. I thought it was very well done. And you know me, I'm a huge fan of the Batman animated series. It's one of my favorite things growing up when I was a kid. So watching something like this, I'm going to be hooked. It's very well done. It reminds me of like I like it because I like the whole time period, and I like how it's more practical time period here, where it's like he's using a radio, and he has to, he doesn't have like a computer that's recording. Yeah, except for like, yeah, 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 whatever. Yeah, mm, yeah, mhm, mm, yeah, mm, Yeah. Mm. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Mm. Bomb thought out Nazi. Yeah. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Wants to things, yeah. No. Yep. Yeah. He's got that very distinction. Well, see, yeah. Yeah. Yes, that is. I didn't know if we talked about this season 1, but I did not know this until season 2 because I was looking at the cast. But do you know who plays Batman? The preacher from Midnight Mass. Yeah, yeah, he's been in a lot of things because he was in that Widow's Bay, the one that we just watched. He was the, like, old guy and stuff. I didn't know he was in this, and then, like, I was like, "I wonder who plays Batman," and then I was like, Oh, that's an interesting take. But yeah, I really enjoy it. And then there was I was confused one episode this season because I thought it was a certain villain, but then Travis had to tell me like that is not who that is. And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And that is I thought Mr. Freeze was in this season. That is not Mr. Freeze. Yeah, that's Mr. Zero, and I never. He was so. I asked Travis, I was like, I don't remember Mr. Zero, and he's like, you know, these. This is based off of the comic book from Frank Miller, Year One Batman, right? And I said, I did not know that, and he's like, yeah, have you ever read it? And I was like, no, I've seen like a little bit of the movie, like animated movie that they started putting out, and he's like, yeah, he's like, but the thing is like he's like, it's not the whole thing. It's just characters based on that Batman universe, that one comic. And I was like, oh, okay. So he's like, but Mr. Zero is not Mr. Freeze. And I was like, okay. I did have a problem with the Riddler. I really had a problem with the Riddler because, you know, why do they call you the Riddler? Because, you know, I riddle bullets into people, you know, that's what like I'm thinking, you know, but like the thing was I wasn't a fan of the Riddler. The problem that I've always had with the Riddler, and like a lot of people got really angry at me when this was released, but like the new Batman movie with Robert Pattinson, I think Robert Pattinson played great Batman. I think Paul Raniero. I don't like the Riddler in that movie, and people are like, "Why not? It's the best Riddler. He did every." I was like, "No, he's a psychotic psycho killer. He doesn't like the Riddler in any of the comic books. I don't like that Riddler. I like the Riddler that is he is in Arkham Asylum, Arkham Knight, all those. I also like him in the original comic books where he had riddles and like he would put Batman in like a death trap room and like make him solve riddles. You know, he's the greatest detective that needs to like solve this. I will say one of the episodes this season was so good. I really enjoyed it. It was the episode where the guy from the first season that tries to kill Barbara Gordon
Yeah,
gets like
turns
that.
into like the Spectre dude. Yeah.
Yeah, and he goes all the way back to her house and he's like, forgive me. I was like, oh man, yes. And I kind of knew it was gonna happen, but how they did that, like just that thing, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. You know, I was really happy about you know, they brought up a lot of the characters that I have been wanting to see in other comics, because I have seen a couple of these characters in these comics. Like Kelly. I always forget her name. She plays Robin in Year One, and she also plays Robin in one of my favorite Frank Miller Batman comics, which is called, oh wow, The Dark Knight. So The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Returns are like one of my favorite animated comics. Just because one of the best Batman lines of all time will come from that comic, and that's when he's fighting this mutant in like a pit of mud. And like at this time, Batman like The Dark Knight, he's like 70 years old, and so like he's like kind of out of the whole thing, like he's just trying to be Bruce Wayne, but like these mutants start taking over Gotham, so he becomes Batman again. And so like he's just an old man, and like he goes to fight like one of the super mutants like in this bat thing, like in this mud pit, and the guy's like, ah, old man, like I got you now. He's like, you don't see that I'm stronger and more in my prime. And Batman's like, no, you're the problem. And he's like, what do you mean? He's like, this isn't a fight. And he's like, this is an operating table. And then he just like breaks his arm, and I was like, yeah, Bruce Wayne, do it, dude, buddy. It's one of the best lines ever. He's like, you're wrong, this is an operating table. I was like, oh man.
He's like,
and
what the frick? Ah!
But I really enjoyed Kelly in that comic books. Like those were really well done. Like she's just a young Robin that likes you know, I forget what it's called, the Ghastly Ghost, which is like Bruce Wayne when he was a kid. That's how he became Batman, because he would watch that TV show. He liked those movies. It was like a noir movie. And they also explain that in the animated series, that he was a huge fan of that show. That's how he could solve that bombing. There was like a bombing episode in the original show where like if you only watch those movies, you would get where the other bombs were placed because that person was a writer from the movies. So it's very interesting. I also liked, they did bring in, I forget her name. I have to look her up. Dr. Roxas Sutton. So she was the one that was in like the Rocketeer.
Yeah, the Rocketeer outfit.
Yeah, she's great in the comic books. I really thoroughly enjoyed that episode. I thought it was really well done. I like the episode of like Harley Quinn, like when you finally realize that like Harley Quinn didn't die and she's being held like under witness protection by someone that she really cares about and she's in love with, but then the person that she's in love with was like, hey, this isn't right. And Harley comes to the conclusion that she's putting her partner in danger because of that. So I thought this season was very well done. I enjoyed every episode. Like when I went home after, what was it, the last time that we did the podcast, we got off and I was like, I'm just gonna watch one episode and then I'll go from there.
Oops.
I stayed up until like 5 o'clock in the morning watching almost every episode. I got right to the Mr. Zero episode and I fell asleep, which I think is like episode 8. I blew through it. Like I blew through this and I was like, man, I enjoy Batman as a character when you're using different story formats with Batman. I like that. I don't like when certain superheroes like keep to the same formula sometimes. Now, if it's like the first ever thing that they're doing, I like the formula, but I also like that this is like distinguishing itself from like a different universe. So you're like, I can rock that.
That was the thing that I didn't realize initially, and then once I kind of like accepted it that it was its own thing, is the fact that it was so like, I thought before they were making like subtle changes because it's like it's Batman in the beginning, just like these guys are them in the beginning. It's like, no, it's a completely different universe. And they're their own thing, their own world kind of works. And I like that. And so I was like, okay, I like the little changes that they make because it doesn't just make Batman more distinct, it makes the world more
distinct, yeah. And there was another character, like villain, that I was like kind of confused on because I thought it was another villain. And then it wasn't, but that is the girl that I thought was Poison Ivy is not Poison Ivy. And they kind of distinguish. Thorn at the end. Like I was like, wait, that wasn't Poison Ivy, because like that totally felt like Poison Ivy. But then I asked Travis about it, and he's like, no, that's what I thought too. I thought they were gonna go through like this weird thing of like her actually being Poison Ivy, and I was like, yeah, and he's like, yeah, just they didn't do that, which is fine. He's like, I actually like Thorn. I was like, yeah, I do too.
I think it is supposed to be Poison Ivy, but it's not like
like the very fictional Poison Ivy where like she's like
I think like the difference between Thorn and Poison Ivy is that Thorn doesn't have like superpowers. Poison Ivy does. And so they weren't going to make Poison Ivy a character because they're like, Poison Ivy has superpowers in a different way. Just like I think the reason why they used that Zero guy instead of Mr. Freeze was because like they wanted a more grounded villain. Like there was no super villains in this show. The only villain that technically existed was the undead thing that came back, like the Spectre dude, and then that went away. Same with the one guy. I don't know who it was supposed to be. Simon was like, is that Solomon Grundy? Was like the one guy who showed up to beat up the dude, and he was like, "Urgh," and then they like ran a car into him and shot him up, and then he went back to normal. I'm like, is that Solomon Grundy? I don't know who he is. Like, I don't know anything about him, but I don't think that's Solomon Grundy.
Born on Tuesday.
On Tuesday, they don't Wednesday. Something. It should be shit that's.
Well, then they also introduced they kind of introduced like Calendar Man.
Yeah, Calendar Man. I don't know who that is, but I was like, I like this guy. He's just a weird nerd who likes recycling. Like, you know what's special about these two? It's like they were both president. They were born on the same day.
Yep.
You should have guessed that if his name was Calendar Man.
Yeah, Calendar Man is just a goofy little like villain that I like.
He's just a little guy. He's just a crazy little guy.
Yeah. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I'm excited. I know that they're doing a third season. Like the show's doing very well. What I've been told by a lot of people, they're like, "Yep, it's getting the views that it needs." And I'm like, "Good." I was like, I thoroughly enjoy this Batman. So, you know, and that's the thing. Like, I love animated superhero movies when they're done very well. Like I've seen some terrible Marvel ones, and I'm like, why did I watch that? But a lot of DC ones that are like some of my favorite animated ever. You know, like, and then like, you know, some of the graphic novels I've read, you know, they turn into animated movies. Sometimes they don't do them very good. Killing Joke is one of them. That is awful. But that's because they added additional stuff that they didn't need to add, and it was even awkward and weird. But overall, like, you know, I like this is the type of animation I like. I don't know what it is. It hits just a nostalgia like nerve for me, because it makes me feel like I'm a kid again when I watch like Batman. Because I will never forget like waking up early in the morning on Saturday and watching Batman in my underwear, like, you know, like that, you know. And like, if you remember, like our house was like cold. Our house was cold because like there was no insulation on the floor. So like you go down in the living room and like you want to sit on the floor, but you had to like put a blanket on because you're like, you're gonna freeze, you know. But you know, I just remember watching this little, and I remember exactly the TV, how it looked and everything. And I loved Batman. I don't know. I think Batman animation was like the first ever dip I ever came into, like superhero wise. Batman was that, and then I used to watch, what was the other one, Superman animated series. I watched that too. So you know, it just, I don't know what it is about the show. The show just makes me so happy. Like I like watching it. I rewatched it actually like a couple days ago. Like I was like, you know, I'll just throw it on background noise, but like it's good. Like I enjoy it thoroughly.
It's a very solid show. Like I can't deny that. I enjoy it a lot. And the animation is such a classic style of animation that I can't help but like it, because it was made traditionally animated style. Like I could be wrong. Like they could have like did some shortcuts with like more advanced techniques nowadays, or programs or whatever. It looks like old animation cartoons, and there's a level of nostalgia watching it, even though it's completely brand new. Yeah, and that's nice to have.
So yeah, I enjoy it.
Pretty good, pretty good. I now have a thing I want us to watch for the show, but it's going to come later. Only 2 seasons, so it should be relatively easy to do. You already know it. You probably already watched it. I had a conversation with some friends on Friday about, and so after watching this, I'm like, yeah, I want to watch that now. Actually, we were talking about gargoyles at like Chip and Mike's house. Yeah. And Chip loves gargoyles. He's like, it's such a good show. I made Mike watch it, and Mike's like, it was really good. He's like, it was crazy that they were having kids watch that show, because it's based on Macbeth.
Yeah, it is.
And like, it's really dark a lot of times. And I was like, oh, I didn't know it was based. Like, I was too young to catch any of that. Like, I didn't know what Macbeth was.
Oh yeah.
And so like him telling me about that, I'm like, I kind of want to rewatch that. Like, that sounds like a very fun thing to like nostalgically be like, man, I remember this episode, I remember this, and then watch it and also understand, like, I now know Macbeth and everything, so watching it would be just very fun. And then after watching this, I'm like, freaking that era of animation where everything was kind of gritty and dark style animation, it's freaking fire, dude.
Hopefully you have the same like explosion of like realization like I did when I watched Oh Brother Where Art Thou. Because when I first watched Oh Brother Where Art Thou, I was too young and I never read the Odyssey.
You never got like the references, and then whenever you like rewatched it, you're like, that's why he has one eye.
Well, that like it got
That's
to a
why the
point where
girls
it's
were
like,
singing in the
"In the
water.
water." Yeah, like it totally like, and then like his journey going all the way back home, and he has to like deal with all this crap that's going on. Um, I was just blown away when that happened. I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is oh my!" And then they even after what was it? It was so funny because it didn't click until I bought the DVD of it later on in life, and I bought it, and then at the beginning of the movie they put a claimer on, and it's like, this is based off of Homer's Odyssey, and I was like, huh? And then I started watching it. I was like, oh my gosh, it was the
It
whole time.
was.
It was you the whole time.
I don't feel like taken advantage of here, but like, good job, I guess. Like, it's funny because like, whenever the new Odyssey movie came out, people were like, "Oh, it's gonna be bad because blah blah blah." Like, you know, all the people making all those different statements. I'm like, no, it's gonna be bad for one reason, and that's because we already have "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?" Like, what we need another Odyssey movie for? Like, kind of like it was a joke, statement, but like, there's a side that kind of agrees with that, just because I love "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?" It was such a good movie.
I am so happy that movie did really well, though, like the Odyssey movie, because the memes that are coming out of it is phenomenal, and I love every. I don't know if you know, like you know the original story of the Odyssey, where like
memes of the Odyssey movie.
So
I haven't even seen the Odyssey movie.
Okay, so like Odysseus, you know the whole scene where he goes to go past the Siren Island, and he has to like get like tied up to the mast, and then like all of his shipmates put like beeswax in their ears and stuff. So like Matt Damon does very well in that scene where he's like tied up and stuff. But the memes that I'm seeing are freaking hilarious, because I saw this guy like in the middle of like a CRV, like in the back seat, and he's like, "Tie me up, boys." And so they put like seatbelts like him and like doing this, and it's driving by Arby's, and he's like, "No!" I'm just so like, stupid. Genius, like just stupid humor. And then there's like a whole bunch of stuff. It's like when my wife drives past my favorite TCG place, it's like, no. It shows like someone that recorded in the theater, like Matt Damon, like the sirens, like so yeah, it's the memes are chef's kiss. But yeah, that's cool. I am excited to do Gargoyles. I haven't seen Gargoyles since 2014. Was the last time I watched it.
I think I watched one episode back when I had Disney Plus.
Yep.
And I was like, yo, that I put that on my list along with a couple other shows, and then never sat down to watch it. But then after having that conversation with my friend, I'm like, I gotta watch this show. Like, it blows my mind that that's what that was based on. Because like he says, like, yeah, of course, because like there's Titania and Oberon in the show, and then you have like he like David Presents, like that's the main antagonist of Macbeth, and I was like, oh, well, dang. Now I'm excited to watch it, not just for like to watch the show, but to find all the references to like A Midsummer Dream or Macbeth. Sorry, I always think Macbeth. Wait, what did I say? It wasn't Oberon and Titania. I'm thinking of a different. We were talking about something else there, but like, yeah, you know, like Macbeth characters. I forget the one character name. Gosh, what was his? Whatever. You can tell that I haven't watched or read freaking Macbeth in a long time.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I think the last time that like I even thought about Macbeth was about 3 years ago when The Simpsons did like a Halloween horror episode of Macbeth.
And they referenced it.
And it was so great. It was one of the funniest episodes. That's something that got revealed too. I don't know if you know this, but like D23 came out this week. Which is Disney's like con. Like they announced.
I know about it?
They announced that
Kingdom Hearts 4. And you know what's the coolest thing about it?
An anime's coming out.
No.
Mexico
is canon in Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, brother.
Yeah, Coco.
So, someone puts like TikToks like, yo guys, Mexico's canon in Kingdom Hearts because of Coco. I was like, oh my god, our world's canon now.
Yeah, no, and then they did Matt Groening accidentally leaked that Hit and Run is coming back. Like they're remastering Hit and Run. The Simpsons Hit and Run game.
Oh, that's awesome! Really?
Yeah, it's getting remade.
Heck yeah. People always talk about it. I love that game.
Yeah, like someone questioned Matt Groening at the panel and was like, when do we see Hit and Run again? And Matt Groening's like, oh yeah, soon. We have it already remade. And like the other guy's like, we weren't supposed to say anything. And he's like, well, whatever it is. And then they did a sneak peek of rough drawings and they like kind of animated it, but they haven't like completely animated it, of like the sneak peek of the new Simpsons movie. So I was really stoked about that.
I did find out, like my friends, because we were talking about old shows and everything, and he brought up, it's like apparently they confirmed the Simpsons are going to end in like 2 seasons or something like that. Like they're ending on season 40. And I was like, that's crazy. I wonder if Austin knows that. Because I'm like, Austin loves the Simpsons. That was like his show growing up. He loved every episode. He can talk a lot about the show. So that's going to be crazy for it to be over. Like 40 seasons.
Well, you know, the only other show that's close to that is South Park. So, you know, it is what it is. But you know what
we'll get up there? Bob's Burgers, baby. Bob's Burgers is like the new Simpsons. I'll be honest. Like it's the new generation of Simpsons. People just relate to the character so much. But who knows if it will keep going? But I would hope it would, because I enjoy the family dynamic. It's Simpsons without the toxic family environment. You know, like everyone loves each other in the Bob's Burgers, but in the Simpsons, everyone kind of despises each other to a certain degree, but they're like, but we're still family. Bart hates it, Lisa, and Homer hates Bart. Marge loves everyone but despises Homer. Like, it's like, okay. It's fun, but all right, Austin. I think that will basically cover us for our episode of Batman Kid Crusader. I appreciate you joining me. I think this was really fun.
And next week we are doing...
Yeah, next week we are watching House of the Dragon, season 3. It just finished.
Yeah, I did.
We'll see how it goes. I'm a little skeptical, but apparently people said that it was pretty good of a season, despite like the shortcomings of season 2. We'll see. I'm a big fan of the original like book and the was it that HBO special thing, the little animation special that they did where they just talked about
the lore stuff. Yeah,
we'll see, because I'm willing to be like happily surprised. That's all I care about. So what happened? So that's what we're going to be watching next week. So Austin, thank you again for joining us. To all you out there, thank you so much for stopping by, and thank you all so much for tuning in.